intercultural communication. So, class, our world is fast changing. People who used to have no connection or contact with other cultures are fast becoming closely connected. The problem with this is communicating within your own culture may not be the same as communicating with people from other cultures. What we have taken for granted as being shared by other people may not be shared by other people. The worldviews that they have and the connotations they have for words may be different from ours. Okay? So, as a background, let me share with you the nature of language. Language is composed of form, meaning, and use. The form is what you hear, the words that you hear, including that. They include the gestures that you see, and for blind people, what they feel. That's the form part of language. Meaning is what is triggered in your mind or brain by the form that you hear or that you see. And then language also has use. Different aspects of language, different parts of language have their own uses depending on the culture. Let's take, for example, this question, where are you going? The question, where are you going, may have the same form, same meaning, but may have the different use in other cultures. For example, it would be different in a lowland culture, pictured by the picture on the left. It would be different in a hunter gathering society, pictured in the middle. It would be different in it would be different in a Western culture. So the question, where are you going? Saan ka pupunta? When used, the question, where are you going, or saan ka pupunta, when used in our culture, in our lowland culture, it's neutral. It's just there to break the ice. So you meet somebody, you say, saan ka pupunta? Where are you going? Ay, dyan lang. Ah, just there. So the question, where are you going, is neutral. It's just intended to say something, to break the ice. That's in our lowland culture. But in a highland or hunting gathering society, where people go into different places in the forest where they might be where they might encounter danger or any other negative situation, the question, where are you going, connotes something positive. The use of that, the question, where are you going, is to show kindness, to show affection, to show care. Because when you ask that question, where are you going, in a hunt and gathering society, you're saying, I want to know where you're going, so that if you don't come back at the right time, I know where to look for you. So it's a way of saying you care for the person. That's very, very positive. So in our lowland culture, pictured on the left, where are you going is neutral. But in a hunting gathering society, the question, where are you going, is very positive. On the other hand, in a Western culture, the question, where are you going, is very intrusive and impolite, because the background of Western people is they value their privacy, they value their own space. So for you to ask them where you're going, where are you going, it's intrusive, it's impolite. So it's very, very negative. Notice, class, it's the same expression, but it has Notice, class, the question, where are you going? It's the same in terms of function and in terms of form and meaning, but in terms of use or function, it might be different from one culture to another, from neutral to negative to positive, from neutral to positive or negative. Okay? So that is one issue in intercultural communication, the differences that we have with other people, particularly in the way they use language. Another problem that can affect intercultural communication, leading to communication breakdown, are assumptions. People from a certain culture tend to have very similar assumptions, but then from another culture, this might be different. Consider, class, this ad, this advertisement created by an artist. This artist was working for an ad agency that would produce advertisements for different products. One day the artist was asked to create a short cartoon strip that shows the joys of drinking a particular soft drink. So what he did was he drew on the left frame a person who is tired and very thirsty. But then he drank this cola as shown in the middle. And then after that, he became very happy, became very energetic as shown on the frame on the right. But class, it turned out that this ad was intended for an Arab country. They were told, the ad agency and the artist was told this was for an Arab country. So in an Arab country, people read from right to left. But the artist assumed that people would also read the script from left to right. So it was a disaster. When Arabs saw this comic, they read on the right, a guy was very energetic, happy, and then in the middle, this guy drank the cola, the soft drink, and then on the left, this guy became thirsty and tired. So instead of reading from left to right, they read from right to left. That was the problem with the assumption of this artist, thinking that the Arabs would have the same way of reading as he did. So that's a problem. That's the problem when it comes to assumptions. Worldview, class, is composed of assumptions, values, and allegiances. So when you speak with other people, it's possible that they have a different assumption. For example, class, people in the West, when they see a room that has no people and no animals, they assume that there's nobody in it. It's empty. Other cultures, people assume that there are invisible spirit beings everywhere. So even if the room doesn't have people or animals, it's not empty because there are other beings there. Okay? So these are assumptions. As I said, a worldview is also values, not just assumptions. You see here, class, in the Philippines, if a mayor is not responsible in taking care of the infrastructure of his city, it's still very possible for him to be popular among people and win the next election. If he visits people during their time of need, like when somebody in the family died, and the mayor visits that family, they build an interaction leading to relationships, or there's a problem in the family and the mayor visits the family and gives a certain small amount. That person, that mayor, will still likely win because we Filipinos, we value relationships over performance. We value relationships over performance. Even if that mayor is not so good in, but they have a good relationship with us, then with the people, with the electorate, then he will still win. So Filipinos value relationships over performance. These are their values. Okay? We also have allegiances. Worldviews are also composed of allegiances. Worldview is composed of assumptions, values, and allegiances. So take into consideration, class, the country Poland. And Poland was part of what is called the East Bloc. Okay, the East Bloc is composed of communist countries under the influence of Russia, including Poland, Ukraine, Romania, Hungary, Czechoslovakia. These are all supposedly atheistic communist countries. But Poland started a change. It is where communism crumbled. It is where communism first crumbled. It used to be part of uh, be that part of the country was controlled by the Soviet Union. But Poland started a change. You see, class, Poland, the people in Poland, even though they are under communist rule, they still have a very strong relationship with the Roman Catholic Church. And so because of that, they didn't completely accept communism because they were loyal Roman Catholics. In fact, for a Polish person, for you to be truly Polish, you have to be Roman Catholic. If you are Protestant, then you are pro-German. You're not really Polish. If your religion is Orthodox Christianity, then you are pro-Russian. You're not really pro-Polish. In order for you to be Polish, you have to be Roman Catholic. So these are their allegiances. They have allegiance to certain situations, to certain groups, to certain ideas. Okay? So as I said again, worldview is composed of assumptions, values, and allegiances, but these may not be shared by people from another culture. So when you communicate with them, there might be a breakdown in communication because of the difference in culture. Then, different cultures also have different connotation. Different cultures have different connotation. Connotation refers to the ideas, feelings, and images associated with a word. These are feelings, ideas that are aroused when a particular word is encountered. So if you hear a particular word, this is what comes to your mind. Okay? Take for example, class, in Pakistan, the popular Psalm 23 might not be may not resonate well with people. You see, class, the Psalm 23, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. The famous Shepherd Psalm, which is uh, very meaningful and inspirational for people in the West, for Christian countries. It may not have the same resonation with people in Pakistan. You see, class in Pakistan, many people think of shepherds as drunkards. Their connotation of a shepherd is somebody who is a drunkard. If you're a shepherd, you're a drunkard. So for you to say that the Lord is my shepherd, it would be like saying the Lord is a drunkard. So communicating with them using this imagery of a shepherd may not produce the kind of result that you would want. Okay? So in the case of my Canadian friend, he tried to say to his girlfriend in the Philippines, because he had an LDR, long distance relationship, he said to his girlfriend, "Magandang gabi, aking munting kuting." Magandang gabi at aking munting kuting. Well, it doesn't produce the same response as how you'd say it in English in Canada or in the United States. You see, class, uh, people in the United States often refer to people they love as kittens. Kittens have this connotation of being adorable, harmless, delicate, and tender. So people who have loved ones who are harmless, like children, like girlfriends, in the United States, they would call them as kittens. So they would say, "Good night, my little kitten." So there's association between kitten and people whom you love. That's the connotation. As I said, connotation refers to ideas and feelings associated with a particular word. But this word kitten is not associated with people in the Philippines. People in the Philippines do not associate their loved ones with kittens. So the message, magandang gabi, aking munting kuting, does not produce the same kind of effect because of a different connotation. It would be a big mistake for you. It would be a big mistake for you to think that by simply translating into another language, it would have the same function, it would have the same effect. Okay? Also, what is this image? The connotation that we have in the Philippines about this image is tikbalang, a bad uh, netherworld animal, a bad nocturnal creature. But notice, class, the feet of this half person, half animal is cloven. So it's not a horse. It cannot be a horse because a horse has a complete hoof. It's not it's not cloven. It's not divided into two. So a horse, this could not be a horse. Plus, if you look at the tail is not that of the horse. But of course, you can think of it as a tikbalang here in the Philippines. That's your connotation with this creature. But in Western culture, particularly in Greece, this is what you call a satire. Now, some of you use the term fawn. Yes, fawn is a kind of satire. Okay, a fawn or a pan is a kind of satire. Okay, now what is a satyr? A satyr is a half human, half goat that is very hedonistic. Mahilig sa layaw, taki sa layaw, pero hindi Jeprox. Okay? Satyr, according to Greek mythology, are creatures, half men, half animals, and they are very, very fond of self gratification, entertainment, happiness, having fun. So they engage in drinking, carousing, dancing, getting wild, singing, and everything that's fun, including sex. Okay? So that's their connotation in Greece. So I ask one of my translation students, translate satyr into Filipino. So ano daw? So one student said, masayahing taong kambing. Yes, totoo yun. Masayahin siya and taong kambing siya. The problem with that class is there's a different connotation of the word goat or kambing in the Philippines. Pag sinabi ng isang tao ay kambing, taong kambing, that person doesn't take a bath, that person smells bad. Like what happened to you when you were a kid. Laro ka ng laro sa labas, sabi ng nanay mo. Ano ba yan? Ang baho mo na. Amoy kambing ka na. Or, sinabihan ka nanay mo, you're told, maligo ka na. Mami, ayokong maligo. Ay, hindi, mangangamoy kambing ka. Gusto mo amoy kambing ka na? So associated with goat is the idea of not taking a bath and smelling bad. But that's not the connotation in the original Greek mythology. They don't think of goats as uh, about not taking a bath or and smelling bad. Okay, so it's very difficult to translate the word satyr into Filipino because of the differences in connotation. Okay, so what should we do, class? What is important is we do not interpret and we simply observe. We describe what somebody is doing, not interpret what somebody is doing. So, for example, in Western countries, in the United States in particular, if a mother, if an adult is scolding a child, they expect the child to look at them straight in the eye. If children don't do that when they're being scolded, they're interpreted as not paying attention. So they would say, "Look at me when I'm talking to you." So they want kids to look them straight in the eye. But in Korean culture, to look for a child to look an adult in the eye when they're being scolded, that's interpreted as being disrespectful and adamant and arrogant. Okay, so Korean children, when they're being scolded, they're supposed to look at the ground, not look straight in the eye, unlike in Western society. So for you, if you're in the United States and you happen to scold, you're an American and you happen to scold a Korean child, you should not interpret what they see, what you see, what they're doing. You should merely observe or describe literally what they are doing. Describe literally what they are doing, not interpret. Okay? So otherwise, there will be a breakdown in communication. So class intercultural communication is actually a new field of study, and it's very important that we as people who are involved in communication must understand the intricacies and the issues that may be faced when we have intercultural communication. Okay.